Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, text 2. Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya tvattah kamala patraksha mahatmyam api chavyayam. Arjuna says, he continues from his previous verse where he said his illusion is now dispelled because of these words from Krishna. And now he says, Krishna, you have told in detail, and I have heard in detail, Shrutau Vistarashaha Maya, about Bhava Apyayohi Bhutanam, the creation and annihilation, appearance and disappearance of every living entity. Bhava Apyayohi Bhutanam Shrutau Vistarasho Maya. I have heard that in detail, Tvattaha from you, O Kamalapatraksha, O lotus-eyed one, and Mahatmyam Apicha Avyayam, your glories are inexhaustible. So, in previous chapter, as well as in previous chapters to previous chapter, Krishna has explained in several places how he is the cause of annihilation, he is the cause of creation. Sarganam adirantascha madhyam chaivaham Arjuna. And in the seventh chapter also we had seen etad yonini bhutani sarvani ti upadharaya aham kritsnasya jagatah prabhavah pralayastadha. The prabhavah as well as pralayaha, the source of manifestation and the source of annihilation I am. So Krishna has said in multiple places that I am the cause of creation, maintenance and destruction. But still Krishna is aloof from all of that. Nachamam tani karmani nibaddhanti dhananjaya. He is aloof from that. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. Matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avastitaha. So even though he is the cause of the creation, maintenance and destruction, he is completely disconnected in another sense. He is transcendental. Like for example, I remember one time there was this cricket series that was happening, and suddenly one player announced that he's either retiring or he's going away from the tour or something like that. And that was a shock for everyone, just on the verge of the cricket match. And then he said, oh, this game is taking a toll on me. I'm mentally exhausted. I want to take out some time and spend time with family and all of that. So, any activity where you have to do a lot to maintain it, to create it, whether you are a CEO of a company or a high profile performing player of a team, or somebody who has the responsibility to deliver big output, big results, that task wears them down, both physically and mentally. And at the end of it, you'll see they have aged quite a bit. They have become weakened and their spirits are exhausted. So, this is a result of this kind of activity. But see here how Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Kamala Patraksha. The direct meaning is Krishna has lotus eyes, beautiful lotus eyes, just like lotus leaves. Kamala Patraksha. The indirect meaning is He has personality, and his personality is different from our personalities. As I said, our personalities, material personalities, we get affected so much by our activities. We get consumed. But Krishna's personality is not like that. He's different. He's transcendental. His personality is ever existing. Mahatmyam api cha avyayam, here it is said. His glories are inexhaustible. The Mayavadis or the impersonalists, they say there cannot be a God like that. Because the moment you, for example, you are consuming a matchstick, you burn a matchstick, it is producing fire. But the fire, by it is producing fire for, let's say, 1 minute. By the end of the 1 minute, there is no matchstick because all its energy is consumed in the form of fire. So they say that there is no personality. There is no personality like God. There is only energy, the impersonal Brahman. But that is what here it is condemned. They cannot understand that unlimited energies are emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like Prabhupada gives a material example, just like the sun planet. From time immemorial, sun is emitting so much of power and energy, but the sun remains the same. Even as a living entity, we emit so much of energy. We emit so much of heat, isn't it? To keep the body afloat, to keep the body functioning. We have to perspire, we emit heat, we digest food. This is the energy of the soul. So, likewise, the Supreme Soul, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he should not be understood like an ordinary person. He is completely transcendental. And when Arjuna called him Kamalapatraksha, it means he is transcendental. He has personality, and his personality is not lost, even though he is all pervading. So, yet again, in Bhagavad Gita, we see that in so many places, God, Krishna, is referred to as a person. This is one of the biggest clarifications we find from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita compared to other Bhagavad Gitas where they most likely, most of the other Bhagavad Gitas, they represent God as impersonal. And what about Krishna? They say, oh, that impersonal Brahman has come in the form of Krishna. Krishna is not ultimate. But it actually exactly the opposite. Krishna is the ultimate. The impersonal Brahman effulgence is the bodily effulgence of Krishna. So every verse, every chapter in Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion is God is a personality. His personality is different from our personalities. He is transcendental. He is ever beautiful. Satchidananda Vigraha. His form is made of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, unlike our forms, which are temporary, which are ignorant, and which are full of distress. This is the difference. And when we go back to Godhead, we can also get that Satchidananda form. In fact, we have a form. As a spirit soul, it has form, but it is covered with this material form. The moment we are covered with this material form, we think we are this material body, which means it is subject to degradation, subject to distress, subject to disease, subject to death. So, the personality of God, there is a process to meditate. Because you cannot meditate, firstly, you cannot meditate on impersonal Brahman. When Krishna says, meditate on me, manmanabhav madbhakto, it is meditating on his form or his name. They're all non different. Or his pastimes or his words. In Bhagavatam, it is described how when we are meditating on the form of the Lord, just like Arjuna is calling, is glorifying the lotus eyes, one should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet for a beginner devotee. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, the waist, chest, and then the face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. And Krishna is described in so many beautiful verses. He possesses an eternally youthful form of incomparable beauty in every detail, from his fine, curling, bluish black hair to his radiant toenails. It is said that they defeat the luster of most precious gems, and his restless, lotus shaped eyes adorn his splendorous face, and every aspect of his form is pleasing to the eyes to an insatiable degree. So, the name of Krishna, which means all attractive, is the most fitting name for God. And when Krishna was performing his pastimes in Vrindavan, when he was going and taking the cows and calves to the pasturing grounds and he would come back, the gopis would be eagerly waiting when Krishna would come back, when we can see Krishna again, his beautiful form. And as Krishna was coming, this innumerable cows and his cowherd boyfriends, they're all coming through the fields, and the dust is raised from the floor, and the dust is going and smearing the face of Krishna, and that is glorified, that is described so beautifully. Tam go rajas churita kuntala baddha barha vanya prasuna ruchirekshana charuhasam Venum kvanantamanugair upagita kirtim gopyo didrikshata bhyagaman sametaha. Lord Krishna's hair, tam gorajaha churita kuntala. His hair, his churita is smeared with the goraja, the dust raised by the cows. And his hair is decorated with baddha barha, peacock feather, and he always wears beautiful forest flowers. Vanya Prasuna. And his glances are so charming, so pleasing. Ruchirekshana. And he smiles. Charuhasam, smiles beautifully. And then he plays his flute. Venum Kwanantam. So beautifully. That captivates the entire three worlds. Everybody is stunned hearing his flute vibration. And while he is doing like this, Anugair Upagita Kirtim, his companions are chanting his glories. And the gopis, Gopyo Didrikshata Drusho, their eyes were very eager to see him. And Abhyagaman Sameta, they came forward to meet him. So Krishna attracts like this everyone. And Krishna comes to this world for two reasons. Apart from the reason of annihilating the demons, which actually is the task of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is responsible for the maintenance of the world to reduce the burden of the world from evil elements. So it is actually the killing of the demons is the task of Lord Vishnu. But when Krishna came 5000 years ago, Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. And when Krishna came, that coincided with the appearance of Lord Vishnu. So Krishna said, "Anyway, I am going. Let me take care of your work." Because Vishnu is tasked with maintenance. So regularly he comes. Just like, there is a jail, the warden would regularly come. When there is discrepancy, he will settle the discrepancy and go away. And he will appoint some people to take care. And again, when things go haywire, again he will come to settle. So, like that, Vishnu comes. But this time, Krishna himself came and he said, "Okay, anyway, I'm coming, I'll take care." So, when Krishna comes, all the expansions, all the incarnations merge into the body of Krishna. So, when we worship Krishna, it is as good as worshipping everybody. It is not that you have to worship separately Narasimha or Rama, Varaha. Of course, we can worship separately, but it is not different. If we worship Radha Krishna, everything is included. So Krishna came to relieve the burden, to as he Vishnu in him has taken care of the demons. But Krishna himself, his main purpose are two. What is that? One, he wants to enjoy, he wants to taste the mellow of the sweet rasa of the devotees' exchanges with him. Like all these gopis, the young gopis as well as the elderly gopis. The young gopis are his friends and lovers, and the elderly gopis are having motherly feeling. And then the gopas, the young gopas as well as elderly gopas, friends as well as parents, parental affection. And then the cows who serve him. There are innumerable living entities who serve him. The grass serves him by giving soft touch. Govardhan serves him by providing everything that they need during pasturing grounds visit. Then the parrots, the peacocks, everybody serves Krishna. So Krishna wants to taste that essence of the mellow of that relation with all of these entities. And he wants to showcase. The second reason is he wants to glorify the devotional love of these people on the platform of spontaneous love. What does it mean? When you worship God, there are two methods of worship. One is with awe and reverence, folding your hands and offering prayers with humility and with all taking care of everything nicely, like cleanliness, chanting mantras. You are basically treating God like a king with complete awe and venerance, respect. That is one kind. The other kind is spontaneous loving service. Like Krishna is served in Vrindavan. Krishna is not served like a king like Narayana in Vaikuntha. Krishna is served like a next door boy, a beautiful, attractive, loving next door boy. And everybody is attached to Krishna. And their dealings are so informal, but their activities were fully centered around Krishna, whatever they are doing. And the Gopa friends, for example, they would come and jump on Krishna. In Vaikuntha, you cannot do that. Narayana is seated on a throne and is worshipped in most respected fashion. But Krishna is not like that. Very informal, village boy, loving village boy. And everybody comes and jumps on him and play with him. And the gopis sometimes they reproach him in a sulky mood. Oh, Krishna, you came late. No, I cannot. You cannot show Radharani to you today. Like that, Krishna is dealt with, and Krishna loves that. Not that we should artificially imitate these activities. When one becomes a pure devotee of Krishna, following all the rules and regulations given by the spiritual master, and when we get completely attached and purified, then by the mercy of another devotee in Vrindavan, we get that spontaneous loving attraction to Krishna. So, like this, Krishna is dealt with. The mother Yashoda is thinking Krishna is so helpless. She's chastising. This boy needs to be chastised. He's doing too much of mischievous activities. And she's running behind, and Krishna is running in fear of Mother Yashoda. He's carrying the foot sandals of Nanda Maharaj on his head, and he's dancing to the tunes of the gopis to take butter. See how Krishna, he likes to deal, exchange. He likes to enjoy these exchanges and to showcase to the world the glory of this spontaneous loving attraction to him. This is the reason why he comes and shows to everyone this is what the spiritual world is. I'm inviting you all. You come away from my world and are struggling in this world. Prakriti sthani karshati, thinking you will enjoy this matter, this body, which is always degrading, which is always giving a lot of troubles. Asesha rujam birohaha, the source of so many miseries and diseases. But when you come back to me, you see how there is enjoyment. So, in other words, we are personalists. There is enjoyment, but there is no material, wrong kind of enjoyment. Bhagavad Gita is describing and hailing the highest enjoyment. And when you taste that, you will give up all lower enjoyment. Param drishtva nivartate. The other spiritual paths, they focus on negating material activity because they think material activity is binding, sense gratification is sinful. Therefore, we need to negate and renounce all this, detach ourselves. But how long can you remain without activity? How long can you remain without pleasure seeking activity? So, for want of that activity, you will fall back to material activity. But Krishna consciousness means taking pleasure in spiritual activity. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. This is what they do in the spiritual world as well. You practice all renunciation here, it is of no use when you go to the spiritual world. Rather, you start practicing enjoying in Krishna consciousness. That's what happens in the spiritual world. So Krishna is described like this in several verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. His form is beautifully praised when he appeared, not just when Krishna was young, even when Krishna appeared as a small baby from the womb of Devaki. He is described so beautifully. Tamadbhutam balakam चतुर्भुजं शङ्खगदाद्युदायुधं श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मं गलशोभिकौस्तुभं पीताम्बरं सान्द्रपयोदशौभगं महार्हवैडूर्यकिरीटकुन्तल त्विषा परिष्वक्तसहस्रकुन्तलम् उद्दामकाञ्च्यङ्गदकङ्कणादिभिर्विरोचमानं वसुदेव ऐक्षत. When Vasudeva saw this newborn child, he had wonderful lotus-like eyes. Just like Arjuna is describing Krishna, Vasudeva saw Krishna with wonderful lotus like eyes. And he had, just to prove that Krishna himself, God himself had appeared and not ordinary boy, he bore four hands and four weapons, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And on his chest was the mark of Srivatsa. And on his neck, the brilliant Kaustuba gem. and he was dressed in yellow, and his body was blackish like a dense cloud, and his scattered hair fully grown. Which new baby will have fully grown scattered hair and all these ornaments? He had helmet and earrings sparkling uncommonly with the valuable gem Vaiduria, and he was decorated with a brilliant belt, armlets, bangles, and other ornaments appeared so beautifully. Vasudeva Aikshata, he saw like this. And Krishna remains unaffected, as Arjuna is confirming here. We also can remain like that, unaffected, transcendental, the more we associate with Krishna. Otherwise, the time factor is wearing us down. By every sunrise and sunset, we are aging. And before we realize, Kalena Sarvatra Gabhira Ramhasa, very subtly, the time is affecting us. We don't realize it. But the sun cannot take the life of a devotee, the spirit of a devotee. One man was staying very close to Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri. And so the priest, he was passing by this man every day, this man's house. And he was saying, "Hey, I have not seen you in the temple at all, even though you stay very close. Why don't you come?" And he said, "Tomorrow I'll come." In Hindi, they say, Kal aunga, Kal aunga. In Orissa, they'll say, Kal aunga, like that, in an accent, which I don't know how to. And then after a few days, the priest, he didn't see him. And he asked his family members, what happened to him? Oh, unfortunately, he died. So he kept on saying, Kal aunga. That Kal came and took him away. Kala means time, the time factor. So before all is lost, we have to take shelter of Krishna. Every day the priest is reminding him. Every day, if we are fortunate, the devotee will remind us. If we are taking the association of devotees, going to the temple, hearing the classes, reading the books, chanting the holy name, there is reminders always. Take shelter of Krishna before time runs out. And we have to take that opportunity, particularly the chanting of the holy name. We have to focus. We have to, because at the end of life, only Krishna and his holy name can help us deliver from this world. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.